Good evening. This is the Atheist Chef. Now, if you may be asking yourself, hey, wait a minute, didn't you just buy a hat? Why aren't you wearing it? Well, if you can see right about, hey there, got it right off the bat. That is it right over there. I was wearing it on my head, and before Scientricity or Mike, something, whatever he pointed his name out now, is that it kind of made me look like I was Middle Eastern. And it might have was confusing people, so, and I could see it, and anytime I brought my head up kind of close, it kind of looked different than a chef's hat, because it wasn't staying poofy like a chef's hat. So I decided that I may not wear it all the time, or at least until I can figure out how to keep it poofy, but in the meantime, it's going to be over there on top, just so people can remember, hey, chef's hat, and also so I didn't waste like $10. So, let us get to the point that I made this video for. G-Man. Making videos and making hangouts, and it seems just like the more that he keeps going, the crazier he seems to get. I mean, this last hangout, he was kicking people left and right and talking over people, and it was really bad, to be honest. I mean, really, it just seems like this has just been an upward or downward spiral of kind of thing happening, and it seems like it all went to shit the second that Tanya went, or Galaxy Dreams, started to deconvert or questioning or whatever. The second that happened, just all of a sudden, G-Man snapped. And so, everybody was just been kind of recently complaining about G-Man and the way he's handling things, but everybody still is going and hanging out, and, the rooms are filled, 99% of the time. As soon as someone leaves, boom, someone comes back in. But yet, and then we all leave, and we're all like, oh my god, I can't believe G-Man said those things. Because it's funny. Because, yes, we groan, and we're like, oh my god, how can he do that? But we enjoy it. And Shaggy was pointing this out in one of the hangouts earlier. It's trash TV. It's kind of like watching Honey Boo Boo. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe people watch this. But you find yourself sitting there and watching it several episodes in. You're like, why am I still here? But you're hooked. Because, G-Man just gives us that shock value that to have something to talk about, so we can gossip. It's like, oh, look what G-Man did. G-Man was all doing this, and he was, oh my god, I can't believe. But then, after about 30 seconds of reminiscing of how funny it was, then we start going, man, this is really getting annoying. G-Man's got to stop doing this. But we continue to feed the troll. Now, I'm not saying G-Man is a troll. I'm just saying we're feeding his behaviors. We're feeding his desire. We're feeding his habits. He's responding to this. So we sat and talked about it. So, should we, stop talking to him? Should we not be getting in hangouts with him anymore? But at the same time, we didn't want it to be like a Brett Keane, you're not invited to be a part of the discussion. And then people start thinking, oh, it's just because he's a Christian, you don't want to let him in your room. Which, of course, is obviously not true. G-Man is just talking over people and threatening to kick him out. And he just acts so goofy, and he's laughing. He's not paying attention. He's cackling like a jack. Not paying attention. He's got his Bible. He's hitting the Bible, just pointing out and doing all these things. And then every time somebody points out something to him, and I love how Hogtie Champion said it, he just basically anytime someone says something and G-Man says, so basically what you're telling me is, well, G-Man ends up being wrong because he's trying to, truncate it, and then it ends up just being a straw man from hell. So, there's so many things. G-Man's behavior overall has just been non-conducive to a discussion, or even if it's not about discussion, just a enjoyable conversation about anything. It's getting annoying. So I myself, this is me personally, I am saying myself, I am not going to go to a G-Man Hangout, which of course I haven't been to too many. I've been to like one in the past few months because generally they're 3 or 4 hours long, or they're already filled. And sometimes I just don't feel like hearing a lot of what G-Man has to say because it always ends up being the same topics between slavery, morality, and then sometimes it's slavery, and then sometimes it's morality, and then sometimes it's about slavery, and sometimes it's about morality. I get so tired of those conversations, I don't feel like being around it. But now with this behavior that G-Man has just exploded with recently, I just don't feel like I want to be there. I don't want to be involved with that. And so I am making a protest of G-Man videos. I will not be replying to any more of G-Man's videos. I know I just made one today, but literally this just happened today. So I will not be responding to anything, comments. I will not be any live Google Hangouts with G-Man. And again, this is not a I don't want G-Man to be involved in the discussion. I do, but not live. Live Hangouts with G-Man are completely different with either solo or non-recorded Hangouts or Skype calls with G-Man. When you can get G-Man alone, it's a great time. Like, he is a human being. He listens. You don't have the urge to yell because he's trying to talk over you or anything. It's a great conversation. But when he goes live, boy, he puts on that I love Jesus hat and all that, and that mask of this is how, dancing monkey mask there, and he has to get his views in. So I don't want to be a part of that. So if he's in to hang out with somebody and it's not live, I could be there. But I'm asking everyone else out there to join me. This is the only way to really not feed the troll anymore. If we stop going to his hangouts and stop feeding his desire and stop showing him that we're going to continue to allow this to happen, then he's never going to stop. He's not going to take us seriously when we point out what it is that he's doing. I mean, he even in one of tonight's hangout, he even said it himself. If you guys don't like what I'm doing, then leave. But you guys are my room, or you're filling up his room. Because we still are. And that needs to change. I want G-Man to be a part of the hangouts, part of these discussions. But not like this. This isn't how it gets. This is not how we have discussions. This is not how we have debates or conversations. This is not how we do hangouts. By having one person trying to dominate the room and then getting butthurt and then start kicking people out and trying to talk all over them, nothing gets accomplished. So I'm asking you, everybody that hangs out with G-Man, that is tired of how he's acting and wants to see a change, do not go to his hangouts. Do not go to his live hangouts and then be surprised when he acts this way. G-Man, if you watch this, you told me that you were going to take some of my advice. I told you to emulate the people that are getting conversations and that are having discussions without it blowing up, and to do that and watch who these people are and just get that, emulate that as much as you can. And you said you would listen to some of my advice. I don't know what you actually listened to. I guess the only advice you took was to come back. So I don't know. But you need to get your shit straight. Because many of us are tired of you. And it's not because you have some message, because we just can't handle your superior logic and morality and understanding of the Bible. It's because we can't have a discussion with you. We cannot have a conversation with you. It needs to change. It needs to change before it gets too late and nobody ever wants to see you again. That's all I'm going to say on this. This is the Atheist Chef, signing off. Peace. Good evening. This is the Atheist Chef. Now, if you may be asking yourself, hey, wait a minute, didn't you just buy a hat? Why aren't you wearing it? Well, if you can see, right about, hey there, Middle Eastern. And it might have was confusing people, so, and I could see it, and the time I brought my head up kind of close, it kind of looked different than a chef's hat, because it wasn't staying poofy like a chef's hat. Let us get to the point that I made this video for. G-Man. G-Man. Got it right off the bat. That is it right over there. I was wearing it on my head, and before Scientricity or Mike, something, whatever he pointed his name out now, is that it kind of made me look like I was... So I decided that I may not wear it all the time, or at least until I can figure out how to keep it poofy, but in the meantime, it's going to be over there on top, just so people can remember, hey, chef's hat. Also so I didn't waste like $10. So...